Monoculture. One language, one race, one way of life. Monoculture is the birth child of globalism, and monoculture is everywhere. From uniform grassy lawns to gender binaries to implementing zero-tolerance policing and surveillance tactics worldwide. Let's think of it like this. A machine must have all parts uniform and operating consistently. This calls for homogenization, which makes sense when working with computers or machines, not human beings. People can't be programmed to be exactly alike because we vary genetically. We experience life differently. And there are countless factors that can change our bodies at any given moment in ways that can't be reversed or fixed. The purpose of monoculture is uniformity. To make everything and everyone and everywhere as much alike as possible. Why? Well, it's just easier to control that way. But how do you deal with the reality that human body minds are diverse in a capitalist society that requires people to be as much alike as possible? Able-bodied, for example. Monoculture shows up in our defensive thoughts and conditioned responses to other people's behaviors that don't match our own. Capitalism promotes ableism. There is no room for disabled and or chronically ill bodies in a labor-intensive society, especially one where burnout culture is celebrated and a person's labor is equated to their worth. When people are removed from or kept from participating in society, it makes it easier for monoculture to thrive. This removal declares, only some of us can be here, not all of us. Monoculture recognizes the existence of other cultures, but that only one can be superior. Therefore, oppression occurs and hierarchies are established. In brilliant imperfection, grappling with cure, Eli Clear draws comparisons between agriculture and being surrounded by able-bodied, apparently healthy individuals at an airport, claiming that monocultures do an immense amount of damage. So much labor and violence goes into creating and maintaining them. Their existence requires hundreds of eradications and removals. Eliminating native species of plants to plant one crop does tremendous damage to the ecosystem. Yet this act of removal is the key component to monoculture, and it happens with people all the time, such as the removal of indigenous populations from their native lands. In a foreword by Ashanti Mant Tveska and Sind Mbalig Gintooth Mbam, we bring up Dr. Patty Lagg's coining of the term deathhood in response to the cultural understanding of oralism being the form of monocultural colonialism. In other words, monoculture manifests in our everyday communication and positions oral speech as being superior to sign language. What are some other examples of monoculture we can think of? How about standardized education and teaching methods that disregard people with learning disabilities? How about deforestation and the way that cities and lawns are designed to discourage people from growing food at home? How about assumptions that all people can perform the same physical tasks in the same manner and the same time frame? Monoculture even filters our thoughts and narratives. It's one of the reasons representation in media is so important, especially for those in the disabled community, whose narratives are constantly erased or misrepresented. While monoculture presumes to make globalization easier, to supposedly make the world run smoothly, you must consider how much we lose every day when it comes to silencing the voices of the marginalized.